And welcome back to the baseline. Where today, guys, we are on the last week of 2025. Hope you all had a great holiday this past week and enjoying your 2025 New Year's party coming up in a couple days. I feel like this year went by fast. Anyway, hold on. Oh, excuse me. Coming down with a bad cough. Anyway, let's talk about some news and reports. Hasn't been a lot since it's been the Christmas week and the holidays, but there's some speculating with two major free agents that are out there. One is Alex Bregman. A lot of people have said that there's been mutual interest between him and the Detroit Tigers. I actually like that move just because you saw what Bregman did with the Red Sox. Basically helped that young core, a core that wasn't really on the verge of winning just yet. And they brought him, and he helped him get into the postseason. I feel like, as much as Bregman, everyone says that he's overrated, but he has helped so many teams. And, I think that's what you want. You want that leadership, that persona to help these guys. And you look at the Tigers, and they have more young players than they do old. They are a win-now team. My only option is with going with a free agent this big is how that is going to affect you after 2026. I think that's the point of where you are with the Tigers. Like the Yankees really don't have that problem. The Red Sox don't have that problem. They can lock up a guy. It'd be fine. Well, with the Tigers, can you sign Bregman to like a 6-7 year deal, but then still have any money left on the table for Skubal? Because you got to keep him, or else I think Skubal will walk if they don't give him a big contract. And that's just my worry right now with the Tigers. And it's the same thing last year and the year before. Is you're going after the hitting. Hey, that's great. You can have all this hitting, but once the pitching aspect of it, there's you're not going to win anything. You let Tommy Kahnle walk. You sign Jansen. Hey, that's great. But if he can't get into the game, it's not going to be great. And you're going to go back to what you did last year. Was everyone expected the Tigers to win the division, and you blew, a 17-game lead towards the end of the season. I think you need to focus on pitching, even if it's nothing major. Like, I'm not expecting the Tigers to go after Framber Valdez or, one of the high, big-end starting pitchers. I'm just looking for some protection for Skubal. Because right now, we are, January 29th, or December 29th, sorry. And we're a couple months away from spring training, and it's the same thing right now. Terrence Skubal, and who else? Unless Jack Flaherty somehow comes back and has a phenomenal season. Sure, and maybe Casey Mize, which I get it. You have faith in your young guys. I mean, the hitting is great, but can they make it far? Otherwise, I think Scuba will walk. I mean, I think Bregman will be good. I really think he should go to Boston. I think Boston needs something with that. Try to bring him back. He worked so well in that ballpark, in that team. I know Boston's looking for some infield help. But with the Tigers, I think you need starting pitching. And then maybe figure something out towards the deadline. That's my opinion. Maybe they could go for a Ketel Marte. Have him play third. You know, that way you have something. It's not a bust of an offseason. You know, I mentioned the Red Sox. They're looking for infield help. I know they want Bregman. I explained why they would want Bregman. I've also heard Bochette's name, which is very, very interesting. I'm hearing Bochette's name, and that kind of brings me to talk to Toronto a little bit. That Toronto might be more of a favor for Kyle Tucker. I'm actually thinking that might be a reality, just because that's the last big thing I've heard from Kyle Tucker. Was he visited with the Blue Jays? There's some mutual interest. They're still in on him. They could put the guy that was out on the outfield, and they could put him. He could play third base. He could play. You have Jimenez at short. They got other options to replace Bichette. I mean, will it be the same? No, but then you, like I said, you have Kyle Tucker, and if Vlad and Tucker, and you have Springer going on, might actually be a little bit more of an upgrade for the Blue Jays than to bring back Bichette. So I'm thinking that if Bichette is looking at more options, then the Blue Jays got their guy. We're probably just waiting maybe until the new year for the news to break out. Like I said, I think Kyle Tucker might be that guy. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But the Red Sox want Bichette. I've also heard Brendan Donovan, which if they get him, that'll be the third trade they made this offseason with the Cardinals. Because they did get Sonny Gray last week. I think they made a trade for Contreras, which I thought was an iffy move. Still believe it will, but they're not staying quiet, which you like. Either one of these guys I think will be great. Both of them great hitters, great defenders. I don't know what they're going to do with that second baseman they signed long term, who was supposed to be really, really great. I can't think of his name, but you know, he came up and then you know, he was great. They locked him up. They traded Devers, and then this guy gets in the minor, Tristan Campbell. You know, he was supposed to be this next second baseman, and now they're looking for second base help. So I don't know where they stand with him. I mean, I know he struggled last year. I mean, I think he could be a great asset as well, but maybe he's a trade piece. I don't know. I don't know what the plan for Boston is. But I think they do need some infield help. I think they still need a little bit more on the bullpen side and maybe starting pitching. I know they made 2 trades for starting pitching with Gray and the guy from Pittsburgh. I'm blanking on his name. But look, Boston, I think whoever they get will be a great upgrade. You know, they're young age-wise. but they've been part of this game for so long that I think will help these guys who have a year or two under their belt, while Bichette and Donovan have like 5 years, so they can really help them just get this mixture of a young core in. Alex Cora is a great manager for Boston. He's won there before. I think he could do it again, especially, now how this AL East is just being flooded with moves, except for the Yankees. The Yankees aren't doing anything. There's no news on the Yankees, which is very shocking. Don't think the Yankees are going to do anything. I'm going to give my opinion on that, but like Boston, I think there was like 1-2 big moves that are still there that would shock us. I'm not leaving Boston out. They got to the postseason. I think this team is hungry for more. You have a full year of Roman Anthony. It's going to be fun to watch for Red Sox fans. On for the Yankees, like I said, there's barely any news. They're not making any moves at all. They're just re-signing their guys. I think someone was saying that they're just going to stick it out with this pitching that they feel like is coming back. Look, that's good, but Garrett Cole had Tommy John. He's supposed to, reportedly that he's supposed to come back early May, early June. My only thing with Garrett Cole is that, like I said, he had Tommy John. You're not going to put innings limit on this guy? Because Tommy John is tricky. We've seen it. Some guys come back from Tommy John and are back to Cy Young form. Some guys get it and they're never the same ever again. Not to mention, he's in his late 30s. He's got 4 years left. How much are you expecting out of this guy? Same thing with Rodon. Yes, you have 7 starting pitchers, and you could play it out here and there. But are you really going to ride the rails of Garrett Cole after just coming off Tommy John? Same thing with Anthony Volpe. There's been rumors about maybe they trade Jazz. If they trade Jazz, they might go after Bo Bichette to play second base. But, like I said, there's no news. They're not in on the big guy. They're not getting Kyle Tucker. They're not getting one of the top starting pitchers. I think you need at least another reliever or two. You can't rely on Paul Blackburn. I'm sorry. You just can't. Hey, just because he had a great half a year for you doesn't mean anything. I like Judge, but can you depend on him? With that shoulder. Because, again, a shoulder injury is tricky. You could be fine, and the next year you could ruin something. Especially now since he's playing in the World Baseball Classic. Not saying that anything's bad's going to happen. Mark DeRosa, great guy. If you watch on the MLB Network, he's awesome. I love D-Ro. But right now, where we stand, December 29th, it doesn't look like the Yankees would finish higher than third place. It doesn't. And that's if they're lucky, because Boston really hasn't done anything. The two busiest teams in that division are Toronto and Baltimore. I don't know what's going on with the Yankees. This is not like them at all. You would think they would want to build more and give guys who are hungry to win. But then again, are they really going to challenge themselves with a fifth guy over $400 million? You pay Judge that money, Cole that money, Stanton that money, Fried that money. Do you want to pay Kyle Tucker $400 million? I don't think so. Same thing with Bichette. So I can see both sides, but then how, if this is plan A, is to ride off and see how Cole looks and how Rodon looks, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't think it is. Let me know if you're a Yankee fan. Let me know what you think. Also, what you think about the Bochette and Bregman ideas. Where do you think they're gonna go? I am gonna sign off. It is a little shorter, just because, like I said, there really hasn't been news this past week because of the holidays. But yeah, this is going to be the last video of 2025, and we will see you next week in 2026. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this ride, and I will see you all in the next one.